Hey, it's Clay Trader, and this will be a video chart on ticker symbol IFON. We will take a look at the 30-minute time frame. Real quick, what do I mean by 30-minute in case maybe you're new to charts? Instead of each one of these candlesticks here representing 1 day's worth of price action, which is what you would normally see, each one represents 30 minutes. So while this here may look like several days worth of time, it's actually just today's price action broken down into 30-minute time slices. I like to this time frame. I think does a good job of telling the quote-unquote story of the price. And in this situation, makes kind of summarizing the price action pretty straightforward. So if you say, Clay, look, summarize this for me quickly, I would say pump and dump on thin ice. Now, before I go any further, when I say pump and dump, I'm not implying that this company is being run out of somebody's attic over in Somalia. I'm not saying that. I'm just making that statement based solely on how the price action has, well, acted. So let's apply the whole definition. And my definition of a pump and dump is a price makes a very impressive move, and then within a relatively short amount of time, the price goes back to where it all started, or in some cases lower. So let's first just figure out, well, where did all this start? So if I do this, you can see that, all right, I think we can all agree on this logic that, all right, the price was basically sitting down here in this channel for a long time, before the upwards movement happened today. So that's where it all started, and we'll just define the top of that channel right there at 60 cents. So the starting point, for the reasons we just discussed there, 60 cents was the starting point. I want to zoom back in so it's a little bit easier to see. So now let's go through the definition. Price makes a really nice move. Well, I would say from where it was here all the way up to there, that was a very nice move. And then within a relatively short amount of time, the price goes back to where it started or lower. Well, this is where the thin ice comes into play. Okay, technically speaking, it didn't quite go all the way to where it started. It hasn't fallen back inside of the channel here, but it is on thin ice. 60 cents being the quote-unquote thin ice, because if the price breaks below there, or worse yet, separates to the downside, then at that point in time, that's literally putting the price right back inside of that range. And again, that's what a pump and up is. Great move, and then price goes relatively short amount of time back to where it started. And, I don't think it can really get any more, kind of in your face than that. Now, to be fair to the bulls, and maybe the thin ice holds. So the price comes down here, bounces around on that thin ice, and then heads to the upside. In the event that happens, then again, in the spirit of being fair to the bulls, you'd have a set of lows right there. You'd have this set of lows right there. If you picture each of those as stair steps, well, hey, now the bulls are starting to build upward stair steps. And maybe that could turn into something longer term in terms of a long-term uptrend. But as it stands right now, yeah, that's why I'm not quite willing to call it a flat-out pump and dump. You still there's some thin ice that the bulls can have an opportunity to finagle with a little bit, but we'll see if they can do that or not. So we'll see what happens with it. Still 1 day left this week, so it'll be interesting to see if the price can hold up above that thin ice tomorrow or not. One of the biggest questions that I get is, hey Clay, how do you find the stocks that you trade? So what I've done is put together a free resource guide where I talk about the tools that I use to locate stocks that I find interesting and think may have potential. So if that sounds like something that could add value to you as a trader, then click on the image that is up on the screen right now and I will email you the guide. The guide itself is very short and to the point, and best part, it's completely free. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know if you have any questions.